Gray Area talks about sex, relationships, mental health, and more. Our content is intended for a mature audience, and the views and opinions expressed on the show are those of the talent and guests alone and are provided for informational purposes only. We want to talk to you, but this is a TV show, and our hosts are not qualified healthcare professionals. If you're depressed, feel your life is at risk, or need immediate assistance, please seek professional help or dial 911. Everyone, I'm Sasha Grey, and this is Gray Area.
What's good, everyone? I'm Dumbfoundead. And Sasha, did you get any sleep last night?
I actually did, yeah. But I am tired because, you know, I treated it like any other night, except I set my alarm 1 hour too early to wake up this morning.
Oh, I stayed up. I felt like I was watching the season finale of America.
And
a lot better than the Game of Thrones.
Yeah, here we are. It's not over yet, because by the time you're watching this, like science, the results will have definitely been updated.
Science, what's that?
Science. Never in our lifetimes have the stakes felt higher for an election, and with the pandemic, the protests, and the resurfacing threat of murder hornets, we've all been sitting in this stressful pile of shit called 2020 for so long, anxiety has become the normal state for some people.
There was no way we could talk about anything else but the election today, because even if we're on different sides, we're still in this shit show together. Not this show, because this show is not shit, but the election.
But covered in shit, a pile of shit, eating a shit sandwich.
Sounds good for some reason.
Tasty.
Ew.
Well, tensions are definitely high, so we wanted to change it up and spend this hour talking to our community about how everyone is feeling and how do we process it all.
But hey, I do want to give a shout out to the Murder Hornets because they just made a comeback. I made it sound like it's a sports team, but I didn't think they were going to come back into the plot of 2020. And apparently, there's a nest in Washington, and this isn't some kind of like metaphor. They caught two queens. They caught two queens, and apparently they're trying to figure out if they're virgins. I didn't realize bees had vaginas, but they do.
Hey man, no slut shaming the Hornets. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, kill those motherfucking skanks.
Jesus.
Just do it. So what did you do last night?
What did I do last night? I had a little election night dinner party. Yeah, sounds terrible.
Fancy.
It sounds terrible, right? And the food was great, and then we started watching election like from the jump.
Yeah.
Like pre-show jump, and it was way too early to start watching the elections.
Yeah.
It was an emotional roller coaster, and I forget, like, it's like this every election season.
It is, yeah, not much changed. I just tried to treat it like a normal night as much as I could. So I could be here today with you guys and feel fresh, you know? But no, I had different news sources going throughout the night and kind of getting the opinion of
Twitch, probably.
A lot of Twitch, a lot of YouTube, a lot of Young Turks.
Right.
But here we are, and we're still waiting. So we will have a lot of questions about what the fuck is going on in the country right now. So we wanted to bring in someone who hopefully has some answers.
Like how many electoral college votes Joe Biden's city in Fortnite has.
Alex Berg is a host and journalist who's written for NBC News, The Daily Beast, Teen Vogue, and more. Right now, she co-hosts the I'm From Driftwood podcast, highlighting queer and trans individuals and issues. Hey, Alex, how was last night for you?
You know, it was fine, I guess. Like y'all, I am just so filled with anxiety. I think like so many other people too, I spent the weeks leading up to last night telling myself we weren't gonna have an answer. Then of course I turned on the TV as soon as possible and started to try to glean any kind of declarative result from anything that I was seeing. So that was pretty much my night.
Yeah.
Well, so help us understand a little bit. All the states aren't counted, and is that normal?
So, I mean, one big question I think that we need to ask about ourselves is what is normal in this day and age?
True.
Like, with COVID and everything happening, we have an unprecedented number of mail-in ballots this year. Voter turnout is up. So I think it's hard for us to compare this to other elections, especially like y'all said, with everything that has happened in the lead up between COVID and the racial justice movement as well. There is a precedent for elections that have not been decided right away. I don't know if y'all remember in 2000, the Bush versus Gore election, when Gore actually called up Bush, conceded the race, called him up again and said, actually, we're not done here. And that, of course, dragged out for weeks.
Yeah.
So I think we can look to that to give us some hints. But yeah, here we are.
And with all the misinformation out there, where do you consume your news and how do you fact check what you read?
So for me, the Associated Press is the gold standard of where I like to look when it comes down to race calls. So I was on that AP Politics Twitter feed last night, and every time something was called, I would scream it out in my living room. So that's the one that I like. I actually think we're in this interesting moment where sometimes we give a little too much credence to cable news pundits because they have to fill airtime. So they're looking to give us any hint, to speculate, to show us their fancy maps on their touch screens and stuff.
Right.
So I think stick with the Associated Press, stick with the outlets that we know are strong, solid, nonpartisan news, NBC, ABC, those kinds of places.
Yeah, a lot of it felt like filler time, just to take up space. And a lot of your work is about highlighting LGBTQ rights. What issues have you been paying attention to in particular during this cycle?
So one of the big things is, of course, we've seen the Trump administration chip away at the rights of so many different marginalized communities. So for LGBTQ folks, we've had some Supreme Court victories in terms of protecting us in the workplace. But one of the big things that I've just been fearful of is how cultural norms have really walked back in terms of discrimination against LGBTQ people. And so that's one of the big things that I've been looking at. Last night, interestingly, was a good night for LGBTQ folks. We had a lot of more local races won by trans and queer individuals. Delaware elected the first out trans member of a state senate. Oklahoma elected the first non-binary lawmaker to their house. Here in New York City, we elected 2 Black queer members to Congress. So there were some exciting victories on that front.
Definitely.
You covered the Trump campaign in 2016. What are some similarities and differences you see in this election?
When I was on the trail in 2016 and I would talk to voters about why Trump appealed to them, there was almost this kind of emotional undercurrent. They would say, he's a businessman. Of course, we could point to all of his business failings, but they had almost this emotional pull. And my hypothesis is that with so many white voters, racism and white supremacy really has this emotional undercurrent for them when they look at Trump. And of course, based on all of the racist things that he has said, how he's attacked so many different groups, I think that is something that is still so true today.
All right, well, Alex, we have a caller we want to bring into the conversation. Chelsea is here. What's happening, Chelsea? Where are you at?
Hi, how are you?
Good, good.
Good, I'm in New Hampshire.
New Hampshire, all right.
Yes.
What's your question?
So I'm temporarily in New Hampshire. I'm in a smaller town than what I'm used to. And I feel a little bit, I'm here for work, and I feel a little bit out of everything. I can't be at any of the protests. A lot of people here are pretty set in their ways, and the same online conversations feel about the same. So what are some advice for people in small towns to feel important, to feel like they're helping?
Chelsea, I think that is such a great question. The first piece of advice I would give is find your issue, pick your lane, and then push. Right now is a time when there are like a million different things that we could look at and feel completely overwhelmed with how we can be helpful. So find the issue that you care about, whether that is LGBTQ rights, whether that is the racial justice movement, whether that is stopping disenfranchisement. So find that first, and then try to look for organizations. They could be national organizations that could hook you up with digital work that you can do. Or if you want to do something even more grassroots, you can look up different kinds of mutual aid organizations. I saw that there are some where you are, and they can give you more direct interpersonal stuff that you can be doing to help folks in your community.
Yeah.
Oh, and there are definitely a handful of issues you can choose from.
Oh, yeah. And I feel like, when you put that time into something that you're passionate about and that you care about, it kind of takes away that that feeling that a lot of us are having of feeling alone in our thoughts or our feelings about everything that's happening, and takes away some of that stress as well.
Absolutely.
I think that's so
Thank
true.
you.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I was just going to say, no, I think that, in this time, it is so easy to feel anxious, despairing all of the time, but it can be really empowering and fulfilling when you can actually be proactive and participating in these kinds of ways. So if you need a little pick-me-up, need to do something good, I think that's a great option.
Definitely. All right, thank you so much for your call, Chelsea. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Alex, is there something you can tell some of our viewers to prepare us for the next couple weeks and, keep our anxiety at all-time low?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the biggest thing I would say is just get comfortable in not knowing what's going on, and make sure you take time to turn off your devices and find those things that you can do that make you feel good, kind of make you forget everything that's going on. So whether that is opening up a book, whether that is calling a friend and just catching up, whether that's having a little cocktail, kind of whatever works for you, make sure you take those moments of downtime. Also, if you start to feel discouraged, remember that voting is just one thing that we can all do to be politically active and politically engaged. There are so many other amazing movements happening right now. There are so many organizers who are shifting the tides, even in red states, to get them incrementally more blue. So you can also look to these more localized races and also some of the things that states are doing, for example, like decriminalizing certain drugs. I think to also kind of boost yourself a little bit.
Well, it doesn't end with that I voted sticker, guys. And thank you, Alex, for joining us and helping us break down what is going on with our democracy. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Good luck
both
out
so
there.
much. Thank you.
All right, we have to take a mental health break from electoral politics. When we come back, we're excited to be joined by streamer and friend of VENN, Austin.
If you're watching us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button or follow us on Twitch. We're at watchvenn.
You have 3 minutes. Inhale fully, and as you exhale, let all the stress fall out of your body. Stay there.
I think I peed myself.
Yeah. 1. On Friday, we're talking with streamer ST Peach. Welcome back to Gray Area. But right now, we're bringing in another streamer into the mix who's a beloved member of the VENN family, the host of Dare Package and Lever Host, and definitely has a lot of opinions on all the chaos going on out there right now. Austin Show, what's up? How are you?
Hey guys, how you doing?
All right.
We're good, we're good. We're just kind of getting over last night. How are you feeling?
I'm tired. I'm feeling okay. I don't think in this environment you can feel especially confident about anything.
Right.
But I'm feeling okay. I think it's, in regards to the election, I think if you feel a little better if you're a Biden supporter right now. So,
Right.
But that's all relative. Things could change really quickly.
Exactly, yeah. And I know most people know you as the host of your own show, Lever Host, on Twitch. But most people don't know that you're super into politics. So just tell us a little bit about what piqued your interest.
Well, I've always been sort of politically involved ever since I was a kid, actually. I followed the Obama 08 election, and I followed the elections in 2012, 2016. Mostly, really, I'm just pretty much just active around election time, honestly. But more recently, I've got a good friend, Hassan Piker, formerly Young Turks, and he's a good friend of mine, and I have been watching his stream a lot, and I've been getting involved.
Yeah, we saw you on there last night.
Yeah. We were. It was a long night. I went to bed at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I got up at like 8. So.
Yeah, I would tune in once in a while, and I'd see him wilding out and jumping and throwing his arms up.
How's your mom?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. How was your mom?
Yeah. So my mom was having a mental breakdown last night. She was completely losing her mind at the fact that, look, there's a lot of things that we knew going into this, but if you're just watching how the polls are breaking down and you don't know exactly where the votes are coming from, you could be in complete panic. And I was trying to explain to her that, places like Wisconsin and Michigan, the trend it most likely will flip given what, the vote that's out and who it favors. But she was just having a complete breakdown. I had to try to walk her off the ledge, but she's okay now.
Well, let me ask you, after last night's race being so close, you said you never look at the Democratic Party the same ever again, and why is that?
Well, I think a lot of, I think even if the Democrats win this cycle, or win this presidency, or Joe Biden wins the presidency, I think, you look at, they weren't able to retain control of the Senate. There were some real troubling demographic breakdowns, especially in like the Latino vote and the African-American vote amongst women. And, so you just sort of have to, the way I look at it is, the Democrats, if they're going to be competitive moving forward, they're going to have to really, really fix the problems that caused them to lose those constituencies.
Yeah, it's a totally different game now, I feel like. And I've kind of felt that way personally since the 2016 election. Like, playing the same game
different.
Just doesn't work.
It's like saying it's not just the votes, but like who's voting. And the Democrats haven't been able to pull those numbers from those certain communities.
Playing an old game. Doesn't work.
They're
it's
losing
stale.
them. They're traditionally Democratic constituencies. The Latino vote, I mean, one of the most troubling things yesterday was from Miami-Dade in Florida.
Yeah.
That's something that usually goes by 20-plus points. Clinton in 2016 won it by over 20 points, and Biden, was in the single digits, I think, and that's just very troubling.
Right. But, I mean, we also have to look at that from the point of view that, this constant message of, if you're a Democrat, you're a socialist, or you're a communist. And so now this message is being fed to, mostly first-generation immigrants that come from socialist countries. But a lot of those immigrants that came here under privileged circumstances as well. So, Florida may be the case, but if you look at Arizona, it's tilted a little bit.
Hopefully,
so
hopefully.
Hopefully. We're still waiting.
Yeah, we're still waiting. Arizona's interesting and makes me anxious because a couple of Fox News and the AP Associated Press has called it, but others have not. So I'm a little skeptical.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can never be too comfortable in this environment.
Exactly, yeah. And it's actually been a really big year for you as well. A new show coming out, a complete rebrand of your show as well. What have you been most passionate about lately? What's keeping you up aside from the elections?
I'm really, really loving my Lover Host show. It's been incredibly popular and successful recently. I'm very, very blessed. It's been reaching numbers and doing things that I never thought were possible. I can't announce it right now, but the guest that we're gonna have coming up is the biggest guest we've ever had, and it's gonna be really exciting.
I look forward to it. It's
hilarious.
Can't say,
we'll
be waiting.
Later,
We want you to host that with your Trump impersonation.
Yeah. Oh, believe me, I can host it. It'll be the best. Believe me, it's gonna be bigly.
It's gonna be bigly.
It's gonna be fantastic. Believe me.
Oh my God.
It's the only thing I like about him is he's
I mean, you said, well, actually, let's go into another. We have a caller joining us right now. So hold on, Austin. We got Youssef. Yeah. How you doing, Youssef?
Hey, guys.
Hi.
Oh, my God. I love this show so much. Hi, Sasha. Love you. Oh, my God. Okay. I'm Youssef.
That's what's up.
Brooklyn, New York. What's up? So I was really active in the election cycle. I wanted to make sure that my friends knew that voting is one of the most important things you can do. And after last night's results, I'm kind of feeling a little disappointed in myself. Gen Z really needed this, and we needed it to be a sweep, and it wasn't. And with all this uncertainty, I don't know if people are gonna trust me anymore to mobilize and to talk to more people. How do I still feel uplifted so I can uplift others?
Youssef, are you a first-time voter?
Yes, I am. This is the first time I ever voted.
Well, get used to this feeling.
Get used to it.
I was get used to this feeling. But
like Alex said earlier too, it doesn't end with voting, right? There are still ways that you can organize. There are still ways that you can impact your local community and create long-lasting change, because sometimes those small movements can inspire larger places, and also definitely inspires other countries as well. So I feel like It's tough. We all go through those feelings, but don't let that hold you down.
Well, Austin, you got any advice for someone who's been involved in like 3 elections now?
Yeah, I haven't been a political organizer or anything like that. I think he's had a little bit more experience than I have, even on that front. But, I'd say, for me, it's definitely not a good thing that the Democrats weren't able to hold on to the Senate. In fact, it's pretty bad. However, I'm hoping, we don't really know right now, but Godspeed, they can hold on to the presidency. I mean, that's a somewhat of a positive thing, right? I mean, I think that, a Republican Senate and a Republican president is disaster, much worse than the alternative. But yeah, I mean, stay focused and continue working. I mean, that's all you can do, really.
Yeah.
You got to dig deep and try to reach those constituencies that have been sort of reluctant to go out and vote. They may feel like their voice is not being heard, and really work to earn their vote back.
Definitely. All right, you guys, we are going to go to our poll question. We asked you, now that the election results are being tallied, what's your new global worry?
You sent your results in via Twitch and Twitter, and here's what you said. Climate change at 20%, murder hornets at 4%. I wonder who's worried about that. Still COVID, 38%, non-voters, 5%, and please yeet me into the sun, 34%.
We had to have some humor in there. Did you vote, Youssef?
I did, and I was gonna vote for Yeet Me Into the Sun, but I did not. I voted for still COVID.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the vote that really matters, right? This vote right here.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
kidding.
what we didn't have on there was the economy, but I think that kind of goes hand in hand with COVID. What do you think, Austin?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think, I hope people put their health first. So, yeah, it does go hand in hand.
Okay. Well, Youssef, thank you so much for calling. Stay strong, and thank you for, letting your voice be heard amongst your peers.
Yeah, thank you so much for your call. We appreciate it. All right, let's take a quick break from those election numbers to run some numbers with Austin in a game called 20 and 60. Dumb is going to read you 20 questions, and we're going to see how many you can answer in 60 seconds.
All right, let's check out the leaderboard to see the score to beat, and no swing states on this board, but possibly some swingers, definitely. I can name probably 6 right now.
All right, you have to beat 15
15 is the score to beat, or at least 13 to get on the board.
Yeah. All right, start the timer.
Hooking up with an ex, good idea or bad?
Bad.
Already a bad start here. A historical figure you crush on?
Say again. Say one more time.
A historical figure you crush on?
Oh shit.
That's allowed now. Don't worry.
Historical figure that I crush on? Oh boy, I'm gonna get killed in this game.
You want to be the biggest loser?
Yeah, I guess so. God, I don't know. That's a weird question. Pass.
All right. How many drinks did you have last night? Which is perfect for that question.
0.
Okay. Politician you'd smash.
Joe Biden.
Last person you texted.
My mom.
Would you ever date a fan?
No.
Favorite game of all time?
RuneScape.
What did your parents call? Oh, that was 7 questions answered.
I'm so sorry. I was taken off guard, honestly. I'm so out of it from the election. I was in my own head. I was like, oh crap, we're playing a game. I was confused.
Yeah, he was like, how does me crushing on this historical figure affect my political stance?
I was like, historical figure, really.
Yeah, we
really
have
tripped me up.
Bigger problems to worry about right now.
I actually love that there was this change of pace on how many questions he answered, because it was all around that area. But
it actually fits the theme of not knowing what the hell's going on right now.
Yeah, so. I want a second. I wish I could get a second try at that, because I was.
Well, wait for another 4 years later. We can do another round.
Hopefully sooner.
Okay.
All right, it's time for another break, you guys.
We've got journalist Curly Velasquez joining the wall party when we come back, so stay tuned.
Resume your relaxed position and breathe. Bring awareness to your hair as you start yanking it out in clumps.
Jeez.
We'll be right back.
today's a really special day because I got to, I'm gonna cook with my mom later on and make some traditional food, which is like pupusas.
Love pupusas. I love
Yes. Oh my God. Point.
Yes.
How do you eat them? What do you get them like usually?
Well, I do both vegetarian and with meat.
Yeah.
And then, with the cabbage, and then, I like some salsa on the side. I like things hot, picante. So many countries and cultures have some version of it, right? Where it's some version of some kind of dough that has as the surprise yummy thing inside, something spicy. The reason to vote is because we must honor the ancestors that fought for our right to vote.
Welcome back to Gray Area. We're here with Austin Show, and we're in the middle of some group therapy talking about last night.
I'm usually not this hungover in therapy, but that was a clip of Curly Velasquez.
Curly is an actor, content creator, and artist who celebrates all things Latinx and beautiful. He produces and appears in BuzzFeed's Latinx division, Pero Like. You can also see him on Starz Vida and Netflix's documentary, Mucho, Mucho Amor.
And as you just saw in that clip, he recently interviewed Kamala Harris. How you doing, Curly?
Welcome.
Oh,
we can't hear you.
I think we're on mute over here.
Yeah.
I'm not on mute. Am I
Oh,
on mute?
there you go. There you go.
We can hear you now.
I was like, woo, what up? So good to meet you both and hang with everybody, or all three of you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining.
I want to congratulate y'all on this amazing show. This is so dope.
Awesome.
Oh,
thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
We saw that you interviewed Kamala Harris, and shout out to her for knowing what pupusas were. Very distinctly.
Did you tell her before, though? Did she get a warning?
No.
Okay.
We actually, I was like talking to her team. We were going to be like, oh, Senator Kamala has pupusas for the first time. And she was like, they were like, she's already had them. She has her favorites. And I was like, you're in.
All right.
You're in.
There's like such a hegemony of Mexican culture where we don't see ourselves represented a lot as Central Americans. And so it's nice to see somebody as prolific as the senator enjoying our traditional food.
So how do you feel, so close to the election being called? Like, I mean, obviously we got some more time, but, having interviewed a possible future vice president.
I mean, the part of me is like, I'm a serial optimist, so I'm gonna be like, things are gonna work out. Things have to work out. Like, we're gonna make it. And then the other side of me is like, oh my God, that's my friend. I'm gonna go to the White House. I'm gonna bang on that door, and I'm gonna be like, can I sleep over? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I have her on the DMs now, so I'm like, hey girl, what's up? Like, can I come hang? So it's an interesting thing. And if 2020 has taught us anything, is that like, we don't know what's gonna happen. Like, it's like everything is up in the air. So my hope is that, we can keep moving forward as different communities and truly as Americans. Like, I'm excited to be like, yes, Americans, like we did it yet again. Like, we are moving forward and we're changing the tone of what is expected of America globally.
Yeah, and I mean, we still don't know the results yet, and regardless of them, how do you think that we can come together as a nation after this? And that's a question for both of you.
Yeah, there's a lot of work to do, clearly.
Yeah. A lot of work. I think for me, there are a lot of like micro communities within other communities. So we're talking about like, if we're talking about the Black community or the Latinx community or Latino community, are we talking about the trans communities, the non-binary communities, the disabled communities, the deaf communities within those, and how are we all conversing with others outside of us and within us? How are we holding ourselves accountable for how we might have been victims, but also victimizers in different areas? And I'm not equating any of the experiences to one another, but I'm just saying, like, I think attempting to have conversations with one another, for me, would be the first step of how we can heal and move forward.
Yeah, for me, I think there's a huge problem with disinformation in being spread around in our country, and platforming conspiracy theories are making their way into the mainstream, and it's really, really driving divisions even deeper. So I think that needs to be addressed, and for that to happen, I think people need to come with maybe the uncomfortable reality that. Sometimes you got to put country over party, and you can't do a lot of the things that are happening right now. It's it's disturbing. I hate to be the negative guy, but a lot of what I've seen is very disturbing. And I think a lot of us feel the same way.
Yeah, I just saw those analytics right on Facebook of the Trump's Facebook page having far more activity than CNN or some of these huge media companies. And that's scary.
I mean, that's
I also think about, I'm sorry, what were you gonna say? Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, you're gonna get a lot of different things, like, especially, you know, working at BuzzFeed, what we see a lot of times, people are doing what we call the pride share, right? So they're sharing things like, this is us, I'm proud of this is me. But there's also the other share where you're like, can you believe this? Can you believe what they're saying? And so it's kind of hard that, yes, you can see numbers, and yes, you can see people interacting with media, but there's not really a clear way to truly understand how people are interacting with the media.
Right. I feel like that's why it's so important to consume independent media that's not run by major corporations, because those outlets tend to show you the broader picture of what both political parties are thinking and feeling and actively doing.
I only get my information from one OnlyFans account.
I also want to invite people to have more conversations with people outside of their communities. I think that your knowledge will always be based on your proximity to these people. And so if you don't know anybody who isn't from your community and you're not asking them questions and trying to understand them, like I have people in my family who are Trump supporters, and I'm like, we grew up together. You have defended me from bullies when I was a young queer kid. How can we have this conversation now, and how can I understand where you're coming from? I'm not gonna there's some people who are toxic and you shouldn't put yourself in these environments, and I'm not saying to do it, but if it's someone that you love and someone who you're just like, whoa, we really came up together, like we really were part of the same group for so long, how do I understand you and how can we move forward? I think
I would listen to that podcast of you having that conversation because that sounds very interesting, actually.
All right, let's hear from someone else who's got lots of questions and not so many answers. We have Amina. Hi, Amina.
Hi, I'm Amina from Jersey.
Jersey.
Basically, what I want to ask. Hi. Basically, like the Trump flag recently has been, you know, seen as a symbol of hate. And I never really seen, you know, Obama flags, Mitt Romney flags, you know, John McCain flags. And even if I did, no one would, you know, feel like threatened by him or scared to be around them. How do I, you know, ease my nerves and not be anxious when I see a Trump flag or anything, like anything Trump?
Man, first thing I gotta say, they want you to feel that way. They're feeding off of that anxiety, and they're feeding off of that fear. They want you to feel that way. And of course, it's natural. We've probably all gone through this in waves and at different times, but remind yourself, focus on something else, think of something positive. Like if you're looking at it and you're outside, like just divert your attention. I feel like you got to redirect that focus onto something completely different, and don't let them pull you down with them.
Yeah, I would echo that. I mean, it's a part of a broad strategy to dissuade people from participating in the process, and you just can't. You know, it truly they talk about this silent majority. It's not a silent majority. It's a very vocal minority, despite what happens in the election. You know, obviously we don't know the results, but whatever the results are, you know, it will be a vocal minority of the population. So you just can't let it get to you. And you know, I think in some regards, though, it is valid to feel like those things are symbols of hate, because I think that they are. But you can't let them deter you from participating and being active.
Definitely. Curly,
yeah,
what do you think?
I would just first like to validate your emotions and how you feel, because I feel the same way too. Like as a queer Latino person walking into spaces where I see that flag, I'm like, oh, I'm not welcome here. Like I come from a family that came over before and after the Civil War in El Salvador as undocumented immigrants. And it's like, I don't feel like that flag is something that is a safe space for me. But what I would tell you is that I would try to remember that there are a lot of communities out here who support you specifically. Like, you have allies from different spaces who we will be here, we will fight, we will keep moving, we will keep speaking, we will keep marching. And I would like to believe that there are more of us than people that are representing this flag who are here for it. We're here to see the change. We're here to protect you. You know, Black women have been the ones that have been pushing towards change. They're turning out for the vote. They are really looking out for the community at large. You know, I think about that, the Black woman who was on the Statue of Liberty years ago, and really pushing for this change and kind of like, you know, and so we're with you. And I think it's important to remember that you're not alone. It's scary. It's a scary time.
Yeah.
I know that the flag means different things for different people, but what it means to us seems to be like we're in unison about how we feel about when we see it. But again, you're not alone, and we're here with you.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Well, thank you, Amina, for calling. We appreciate you.
Thank
And hang in there.
Thank you, Amina.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Austin. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, guys.
Do you have any other questions for Curly or anything else to wrap this up? Because I know it's not done yet.
I mean, I don't have any questions because there's so many questions, but I know there's nobody has the answer to them yet. We just got to be patient.
Yes. Austin, where are you based out of? Where are you?
I'm in Oregon.
Oh, hey,
I'm in
Oregon. Woo,
yeah, where are you?
I'm in LA, born and raised, baby.
Okay.
I'm not even...
Well,
all right.
let's end on a
positive note.
It's on a positive note about Oregon
I know, I'm in
legalizing
such a negative
mushrooms.
headspace. So I'm sorry. I've been going through it. Anyway, thank you guys so much.
All right, enjoy your mushrooms
Nice
over
to
there.
meet you all.
Enjoy
Thank
your
you.
mushrooms, Austin.
Thanks,
Okay, cool.
Austin.
Yeah,
Take care.
I will.
All right.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, we got to take another break, but more with Curly when we get back. Sasha, you got another meditation for us?
This time, as you inhale, reach out your right hand. And what's that? It's your weed. Extend your left hand. What's that? Whiskey. That will do just fine. We'll be right back. Yes! Welcome back to Gray Area Election Fallout Edition. We're happy to be sitting in the uncertainty with Curly Velasquez.
What's up, y'all?
Curly, we've really appreciated your wisdom and positive words for our callers. You talked a little bit about having these conversations with your family, but what are the conversations with your friends looking like right now?
I feel like I'm very fortunate to have to not only grow up in LA, but grow up in Hollywood, where we're surrounded by so many different people. And so I'm having a lot of different conversations with people. So I'm talking to my Asian friends, my Black friends, my deaf friends, my disabled friends, and within those identities, even more micro identities. So my friends of trans experience, my friends of non-binary experience, and just kind of figuring out, like, please tell me, like, how can I be a better ally to you? Like, how do I, as a light-skinned Latino person, help you?
Yeah. And what are the issues that you care about right now that keep you going?
I think for me, it's always going to be about immigration stuff. How are we treating what I feel essentially are my people? When I see these children who are in cages, I think of them as me. I think of them as my cousins, my children. When I see workers, I think of them as my tíos and my tías, my abuelos, my abuelas, my parents.
Right.
I care about LGBTQIA+ issues. I care about equality. And of course, I care about Black issues. 100%. How are we changing what's happening in this country so that everyone has an equal opportunity? And that means education, that means funds, that means just, leveling out the playing field. People want to pretend that a lot of these things happened years ago, that the country's still very young. And so we have a lot of things to figure out.
Definitely. Are there any down ballot races that you've been following and keeping an eye on?
Are there any what? I'm sorry.
Down ballot races, like any major issues that you've...
The ones here in LA are the ones that I'm like looking at, like the Measure J is really important to me. A lot of other props that are going on here that I'm keeping an eye out that just have to deal with a lot of different people in the communities that I care about.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right, well, we have another caller on the line. Ashley, how are you feeling right now about the state of America?
That's such a huge question.
We have to,
How do you feel about America?
We have to bring some some levity here.
Yeah, I'm just feeling, I don't know. I'm very anxious, like I have anxiety. So it's kind of hard to feel everything.
Yeah, definitely.
I think a lot of people are feeling that way right now. What did you want to talk to us about?
Well, lately I've been in quarantine with my mom. And since she grew up in like Gen X area and I'm Gen Z, 18 Gen Z. So I'm having trouble trying to talk about political issues with her. So I don't know how to like drag in all like the school shootings and this, that, and the other in the conversation. Like it's
These are trying times. So, so you said you're 18?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is your first time voting then?
Yes.
Wow. That's heavy, man. That's heavy, especially right now. Have you had it? What have the conversations been like so far?
Well, normally we talk and then it gets into an argument and then I just cry and I leave.
Oh, well, let me tell you, that's been going on for generations.
Yeah, probably true. But I feel like it's really hard when it's somebody you love and somebody you care about, especially because you would hope and think that you could see eye to eye.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I feel like in those moments, one thing you can do to stand strong is just continue to educate yourself on issues that matter to you and come with the facts, you know? And I feel like, again, I keep going back to staying focused today, but if you can come with the facts, it might give you that little boost of energy that you need to fight back, you know, in a positive way.
How about you, Curly? Some advice you can give.
Actually, I wanted to commend you for having that emotional conversation with your mom. I know that it can get really huffy. Different generations can go different ways. I know talking to my own mom, my mom gets really huffy. I feel like her face gets puffy. She starts to cry. I'm like, Señora, why are you getting so upset? I'm just having a conversation with you. I don't understand. Right. I think that one of the things that you want to do when you're conversing with somebody that you care about is talking, but also listening. And part of listening is trying not to walk away, trying not to get too emotional. Don't get too loud. I know me, I'm not listening to someone who's yelling at me. I'm like, girl, I'm out of here. Like, I'm done, you know? So I think that trying to be bigger always, trying to be more patient always. I hear what you're saying, but what I think you're really trying to tell me is this. Understand that a lot of people right now are moving through fear. They're communicating through fear. And fear manifests itself in different ways. So when you're talking to your mom, try to really understand where she's coming from. And also expect her to really listen to where you're coming from too. Part of why I really love Gen Z is y'all are throwing everything out the door. Like really being like, it's also liberating to me and other people being like, y'all don't, it's okay for me to wear makeup. Thank you, finally. Like, it's okay for me to do this. It's okay for me to say this. Like, thank you, finally. Yes. Okay. So sending you so much love. Good luck with everything. You got this.
Well, thank you so much, Ashley. I wish my mom would listen to facts.
Thank you for your call.
And someone else on the line right now. We got Allie coming up. How was your election night, Allie?
Hi, my election night was crazy, to say the least.
Yeah.
I think I was up till like 5 in the morning watching with my mom. It was bad.
Oh, wow.
What's your question for us?
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Pennsylvania. And my question is, I had to move to help my dad and grandma. And now I'm stuck in Trumpsville, which is kind of difficult for me because I feel lack of support system, being so far away from my people, and I was wondering what I can do to feel supported.
Trumpsville.
Wow. Yeah.
Is that the town name, actually? No, I'm kidding. Well, how do you, Curly, do you have any advice for someone, something she's going through?
I would say that what you're going through is very brave, and just know that, again, there are different communities all over that are here supporting you. We're in a good space with technology to have something like the internet in your pocket, on your phone. Know that you have communities and people with you, and have conversations with people. I understand that it can be dangerous in a toxic environment, so please be safe and please take care of your own spirit, your mental health, and your physical health. But know that you're not alone, and we're here.
Yeah, and again, community is everything, really. As we've talked about this throughout the show, like you can find organizations that are local to you, and try to have those conversations with people, even if you disagree with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can't win everybody, but you might be able to win a few people.
Yeah, there's a community out there somewhere. So thanks, Allie.
Yeah, they're just hidden very well.
yeah, for sure. Thanks, Allie, for calling. Appreciate you. And
thank you, Allie.
And Curly, thank you so much for your optimism.
Yes.
I just felt like a positive burst of energy coming this way, which we needed.
Like, actually, like, low-key therapists, I'm like, dang.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's my Virgo spirit. I appreciate you both.
Virgos. I've been around a lot of Virgos these days. And I've been feeling significantly happier, so thank you.
Thank you both for having me. Congratulations on all of your success. It's a beautiful show. Sending you both love.
Oh, thank you so
Curly.
much.
Appreciate
Stay safe out there.
Adios. Bendiciones.
Adios.
Bye, y'all.
All right, we gotta take one more break. Sasha, you have any more Zen left inside you?
You know it.
Bring it.
Finally, it's important to find a mantra that resonates with you. Inhale, completely filling your lungs. And exhale together with me. Fuck this shit.
I feel a lot better. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to Gray Area. We are just recapping last night's championship match between the red team and the blue team.
I actually followed the semifinals this year, so it was nice to see that all the way to the end. The championship game, if you will. That's going to overtime.
Almost to the end. We still don't know. We still don't have the answers.
True.
But 1 year ago, no one saw what was coming, and who knows where we'll be in a year from now. But for now, in this moment, give me where you're at in 4 words, then.
In 4 words, is Canada taking applications? No, I'm kidding. I'm an American, so I gotta say, just hang in there, buddy.
Merca. All right.
Hang in there, buddy. How about you, Sasha?
Keep fighting, lotta continua. It means the struggle continues.
The struggle continues. Yes. All right, very Sasha-like with that 4 words right there.
It's been my motto for a long time, and I think we just have to stay grounded no matter how difficult it is. Like, we've both seen this. We had some callers that were a little bit younger that called in, so it's their first time going through this and experiencing it with, the ability to actually vote.
And I think for us who've been through a couple elections, we just can't get jaded, and we just gotta feel optimistic about it.
You
know
can't.
What I'm saying?
That's what they want. That's what they want. Don't let it happen. That's gonna wrap it up for us tonight. Thank you so much to everybody. Thank you to Austin, Curly, and Alex, and all of our callers and our community for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Oh, sorry. As always, we're on every Wednesday and Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific time. On Friday, we're getting into everything gaming with ST Peach. And make sure to find us at VENN.tv and all platforms at watchvenn. We also now have an uncensored version, so go to YouTube and Twitch for those raw extras.
And don't forget to subscribe, and you can also find us using the hashtag AskGrayArea everywhere. Thank you for watching.
See you guys.